Hi, good evening, Corey Thorne, psychic medium, spiritual healer, and life coach. Coming in to do the channel message. This should have been for September the 1st, but I'm already now into like the 18th, I believe I'm in, of 18th, yes, of September. So this will be a end of September and also a October reading for my Gemini. Sorry that, but life kind of gets in the way and these readings don't always happen when they're supposed to. Please remember this is a general channeled message. It is not a personal reading. To book a personal reading, please go to CoreyThorne.com. Also, please remember that if you're cross-watching and it relates to you, then I guess the message is for you today as well. My messages are not to replace any medical, psychological advice or evidence or scientific evidence that you've been given. This is to be taken as a form of entertainment. If it resonates and it helps you in any way, then I'm happy. Also remember that no reader, no one out there has a right to kind of go take away your free will. You always have free will in anything that you're doing within your life, your path, your journey, your life. The cards that I use are those of others, not my cards, so my interpretation may not be that of the little books that come with the oracle cards or intended by the creator. None of these cards are mine, so all illustrations and cards are others. So I'm just shuffling through, sorry. So Gemini for mid-September, let's say mid-September into all of October. The message that I'm getting is it's kind of get a hold of yourself. It's one of the things. I feel like there's some big decisions to make in your life, and for some reason the cards are really popping up as if I have to show you cards. I feel like you're searching for evidence. It's like, prove to me that this is going to be right. Prove to me that I'm making the right decisions. Well, nobody can prove to you, and we can't see all the way down on the end of the journey. Like I said, there is this thing called free will. You have free will. And so this is the cards that came out, and it's purpose, self-control, shadow, and decisions. And they're pretty point blank for me, and resonating with the message that I'm receiving today for Gemini is that your life purpose is kind of up to you if you choose to live a happy life or a miserable life. Totally up to you. You tend to wanting to stay in suffering, struggles, those type of things, because you are stubborn and you think that life can't change. Well, you know what? It can change. Know where that comes from. That's kind of very straightforward kind of answer. There's a sense that you allow yourself to kind of get out of control emotionally all over the place. And I just heard someone say to you, get a hold of yourself, man. Hold on to yourself. Get a hold of yourself. You're kind of all over the place. Pull your horns back in. The world is not all about you. So poor Geminis, I'm not picking on you. It's the messages that's coming. But that may also be really linking to somebody else in your life as well, not you. Somebody that's kind of all over the place, not got their shit together, but they're kind of bullying you or kind of or you're trying to help them get their lives in order. Might not be you, but there's a decision. And this feels like this is somebody who has to decide, who make a decision between two things or two people in your lives. Or you're struggling with your emotions on, what do I want to do? Trying to do the right thing or trying to do the thing that follows your heart, what humanly you think is right. And here's the shadow. You've been living in the shadows of yourself, living in your own shadows of these stories that you've told yourself long enough, or the shadows of somebody else. What have you been conditioned to believe? And the things that you've been conditioned to believe, I feel like it is time to kind of set yourself free of the burdens of feeling as if you have to keep up to somebody else's standards of how they perceive life. Because remember, even those that set really high standards and have high expectations on you, not always so not always so perfectly squeaky clean lives they're living. Remember that everyone is human. So there's a lot of human moments that happen. Sorry, my dogs are opening my door, so I just have to have a look. Also, what's coming in for Gemini for that month of October is, I feel as if you've been kind of like a sense that you've had a lot of fun, some, not all, remember this is general, that there's been some financial burdens that's been playing over and over in your life. Some unresolved debt, or some trouble with the government, or like financial issues that you've just, and it's not that you intentionally got yourself there. I feel like it just feels like it's a big accumulation of everything in life. Work slows down, life slows down, and now it's like all caught up, and you're wondering, how am I going to get out of it? I feel as if there's some relief coming for you. There's it's like a resolution to an issue that's been happening, and you're going to find that there's a positive outcome and come into the positive side instead of living in negative. You've been in that negative financial for a while. As October comes into the middle of October, I feel as if there is some life changes happening for Gemini. And I mean good. I mean that you're finally starting to be positive. You're starting to put the work in. All that negative end. It's like, I keep seeing the positive little thing and a negative, and it's like, so you've been living over here in the fears, and now you're starting to have faith and starting to believe that, yeah, life can change. I can change. Things can change. And some of you need an attitude adjustment. Or somebody around you need an attitude adjustment. That's exactly as I just heard this, and this feels like that's probably comes from a mom on the other side who's saying, getting too big for your bridges. As that's an old saying that I remember my grandmother saying, don't get too big for your bridges. Somebody is getting too big for their bridges. So whether that's you, your partner, whoever it may be, too big for your bridges. Kind of calm down, sit back, take a look at life, look where you're going. I feel as if a good way to kind of get back into that whole being humble and grounded and kind and compassionate is that level of recognizing how much you're giving out or how much you're receiving. So, and it's that balance of giving and receiving. Do something generous, be generous. Do something generous, be generous. Do something good for other people. It's not all about you. It's not all about you. And so it's not all about the other person. If it's somebody else that's like this and you're the one who's giving everything, it's the same way. It's just tell them to they have to give something back. Like if you're the one giving everything and you're getting nothing back, they have to give you something back. Like they have to give you the attention, the love, whatever it may be. It has to come back. But I can also tell you, Gemini, that you're coming out of the shadows. You're kind of getting balance, getting grounded, getting stable again, making that decision. And once you make that decision, once you get quiet and you get out of this out of control sense that you're in, once you make that decision, everything in life, not going to say it's going to be easy, but everything will start to fall into place. Be optimistic. Be optimistic that by the end of October, good things are happening. Start expecting good things to happen. You're coming from the negative. I just see this little dial that goes up to the positive. If you were at a 2, you're going to a 7. If you were at a 5, you're going all the way to a 10. It's like there's just this switch and change that's happening. Be thankful, be grateful, find that balance between giving and receiving. Let no one take your light, but also don't be afraid to live in your light and to be honest with yourself and honest with others. Your integrity is everything to you because it's such a big part of you. So please enjoy your end September, October. Know that life is bringing you some beautiful changes, and much love to you all. See you in November. Bye-bye.